Hey, welcome to Worry Free Wednesday. Greg Surratt here, and we are doing a study that we're calling Called to More. And we're taking it from Ephesians chapter 4. We've already talked about our calling. And today, let's talk about gentleness. Look at this next verse. It says, be completely humble and gentle. Be completely gentle. Now, if you're like me, that word doesn't sound particularly exciting, right? Gentleness feels like the opposite of what you need when the world's loud, when opinions clash, and everybody's ready to fight on social media before breakfast. But here's the thing. Gentleness isn't weakness. It's actually one of the strongest, most underrated forces in the world. When Paul says, be completely humble and gentle, he's not suggesting that we speak softly and that we never disagree with anybody. No, he's describing a spirit that stays steady when everybody else loses their cool. The Greek word for gentle literally means power under control. Picture a massive horse that could trample anything in its path, and yet it responds to the lightest touch of the reins. That's gentleness. It's strength fully surrendered to something greater. So who's our example? Jesus is. Jesus was gentle. You say, well, he flipped tables. I don't know how many times I've heard that to justify just really harsh behavior these days. Well, Jesus flipped tables. Yeah, he did it once. He did it when necessary. But most of the time, he used a tone that disarmed everybody rather than destroyed them. He didn't win people by overpowering them. He won them by loving them. A few years ago, I watched a dad try to calm his toddler in a grocery store meltdown. You know the type. They're in the cereal aisle. There's tears everywhere. The cart's tipped halfway over. Most parents, including yours truly, probably would have snapped. But this dad knelt down and whispered something that I couldn't hear, and then he held out his arms. And within seconds, the little boy climbed in, still sniffling, but calm. See, gentleness didn't just quiet the kid, it changed the atmosphere of the entire aisle. And that's what we're called to do. That's what gentleness does. It de-escalates chaos, it opens space for peace, and it allows God to step in where arguments once ruled. So this week, when you're tempted to prove your point or raise your voice, here's what I want you to do. Pause. Take a deep breath and ask, what would gentleness look like right now? It might mean sending a kind text instead of the clever comeback, or it might mean listening longer than you talk. Or it might simply mean walking away and praying before you respond. Remember, gentleness doesn't mean you stop caring. It means you stop controlling. It's choosing influence over intensity. And in a loud, divided world, that kind of gentleness stands out. So I want to challenge you. You be gentle this week, not because you're weak, but because you're strong enough not to fight every battle. That's the way to live worry-free and maybe help someone else do the same. So let's crush Worry-Free Wednesday together. Are you in? Well, if you enjoy these short, encouraging videos, why don't you like, comment, maybe share it with a friend, subscribe so that you don't miss any of them. And until next time, you worry less, live more. And let's not just have a good day. Let's make it a great worry-free Wednesday.